All right, everybody. Thank you so much once again for tuning in to the Nona Sportscast. We're here today with a special person, personal friend, somebody that's is just as responsible as I am to build this amazing club. Somebody that's been with us forever, and I've been trying to bring him into this podcast. And today, I have the pleasure to talk to him, know a little bit more about his story, how he ended up here, and where does he find this amazing charisma that he has that everybody loves. And I am super happy to be here to talk about his career, to talk about how he's growing at Nona, and also to hear a little bit from me. What was my vision when I found him, when I had the idea to bring him here. I'm super proud of how much he's grown in the last couple of years, and I am here today to spend the next 50 minutes or so with my friend, the person that's helping me build this club, my right hand man, the boss, the supervisor, the general manager, Coach Frodo. Thank you so much, Frodo, for being here. He is a little shy today. He said he hates podcasts like 30 seconds before we start. But we are excited, Frodo, to have you here. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. I'm not a really big fan of podcasts, but just because it's you,
Okay.
I'm gonna give you that honor
Is
to
that
interview me.
is that how we're going to start this?
Yes,
This is
I'm,
supposed to be serious.
I'm good. I'm gonna give you the honor. This is my first ever podcast.
Good. So you better start learning because soon you're going to be sitting on this side talking to people. So
I can see Danny or Alejandro on that role for podcast.
Danny for sure.
Yes,
He
I'll
talks
give.
to
I'll,
all of us.
I demand Danny.
Yeah.
I delegate to Danny. My new word is delegate, so maybe Danny will be sitting there, and I'll help him out.
All right, Frodo. Before I you start talking, I want to, if you don't mind, telling our story, how we ended up here. Um, I was invited to play at Excel over in Winter Park a couple of years ago, and we're playing the over 30 league, and we got like 6 or 7 of our friends, and Frodo was a 25-year-old at the time, and we were like, what is this 25-year-old playing the over 30 league? But because he was so good and he had white beard, we kind of passed him through. And then, so he was our, in Brazil, we say, o gato, the cat on the team. Like we fake his age to play. And from day one, I saw this amazing person, this friendly guy with always a smile on his face. Everybody loved, and then I started realizing how famous he was in the Brazilian community here. And after 2 or 3 games that we played together, that after the game we always stayed for cold beverages. We were having a soda or two after the game. I fell in love with this guy, and I said, Frodo, you have to come to Nona because I need somebody to take over the 2018. And from that point on, it started this crazy negotiation. It took me like 6 months to bring him. He's like, I don't want to coach youth soccer. I don't want to go through this. And I said, no, I want you. I want you. I was the only coach at the time. I was here with maybe 1 or 2 other coaches. But I said, Frodo, you played in college. You are great person. The charisma, the personality is exactly what I wanted here. And and it was harder to bring Frodo to Nona than it was to bring Messi to Inter Miami. But I got it once, and it was he came in to see summer camp one time, and I think he fell in love with the orange, and we decided to join forces, and from that point on, a history. So I am super proud of myself for seeing that talent and seeing what I saw 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
I think we're going into Nona's turning 8,
Eight,
so I'm turning 6.
6. So we brought Frodo in 6 years ago, and today he's grown to be probably one of the most important assets of our club, and and the position that we created for you, it's probably what everybody wants. Like every club in Orlando would love to have a Frodo. So this is kind of we're gonna talk more about it, but this is how we got here. So Frodo, is my story accurate? It's do you have anything to add? How was that whole?
Yeah, we used to have a friends team at Excel, and just because I know everybody there, they let me play over 30, even though Fabio was nice to say I was 25, but I think I was like 21, to be honest. And but the guys knew I was underage and they didn't care. They let me play. I think mostly because of the cold beer, the cold drinks after, and just because we hang out and I respect everybody. You know, some young kids they go there and they just want to show off. I wasn't that person, so they're like, you know what, you're actually adding to the league and to the teams, so just stay. And then I probably played there for 10 years until I actually became over 30.
True.
and and Fabio knew the guys. He came to play a few times. He kept asking me, Frodo, I think I need you here at Nona. I need you to take Moa's team. And I knew Moa since Moa was like, what, A,
Yeah.
probably? And I was like, I love Moa, but I don't see myself as a coach. I play here in college, and I always had that thought that I wouldn't have the patience to coach. I'm like, I cannot see a kid not controlling a ball or not making a good pass, and I'm not there on the field. I'm on the sideline, and I don't think I'm gonna have the patience to do it. I don't even think I have the skills for it. And then at that time, I was still working at the outlets, and the outlets is tough. You work every Saturday and Sunday, 12-hour shifts, and then it's a hustle. You depend on tourism, and I was actually tired of it. And I was looking for something new, but I never thought I was actually gonna work on the soccer industry. And Fabio can invite me. Okay, come. I said no. Come on, just come. I said no. And he's like, just come to summer camp. It's different. It's fun. Just go there one day and see if you like it. I said, all right, I'll do the month of July was the first week after 4th of July. He's like, we still have 4 more weeks of summer camp. And it was actually me and Machi. And they were like, all right, let's do it 1 month. It's fun. It's resenha. And then after I went to summer camp, we actually did some practice, and I liked it. I was actually enjoying what I was doing again, because I was unhappy on my work life. Every day, waking up, going to the outlets, staying there from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., going home. Next day, the same thing, and there was no future. It was just that I wasn't gonna get out of the outlets, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try. We sat down, we talked. He said, you gotta take Moa's team. I said, really? Like, you're gonna give me the 08s, like right there? Yeah, I trust you. I said, okay, I'm up to the challenge. Guess what? First 10 games? It was less. First, what, six? First 6 games, I'm taking this team after Fabio. And we lost all 6 games. So, for you guys that complain about your coaches sometimes, Coach Frodo lost his first 6 games with the OA Black. Um, yes, it was tough. We even have memes going on the WhatsApp group saying, Coach Frodo out, Coach Frodo out. But we had a conversation with the parents. Fabio said, I trust this guy. And after that, it's history.
So we're gonna talk about the success that you had as a coach, Frodo. But I want you once you accepted the position, once you did it, and one of the things that we're gonna be talking a lot about here is the career in soccer of young executives like you. We had a conversation with Ali and Danny, and we're gonna talk more. And then a lot of the people that's been through the process here at Nona, we always thought it was something that, and you know me by now probably more than all of the other guys. I like to give an opportunity to young guys and stuff, but I think please explain to us what went through your mind about accepting the position into those conversations what we had is like where do you want to go in terms of your career and where you are today because today you are a top executive in youth soccer clubs all around everywhere we go people know you or know of you or how important you've been to the club so how was it for you to see that transition throughout like that personal first not the process and stuff but personally like you start clicking and say wow I can do this or I like this I don't like that where do I see myself and how was that process for you.
Um, I think for me, the one of the biggest thing was see opportunity of growth. So when I started, Nona had 70 kids, and you were really like on, honest about it. You said, "Look, we have 70 kids. I need you now, but you're gonna do. We need. I need you to do everything, literally. You know, we're painting fields, building goals, coaching, and then organize the leagues, organize games. But at the same time, you kept telling me, this is the growing pains because we're gonna grow, and then what I do now with you, you're gonna have somebody next to you to lead them. So my biggest thing to come to Nona was, all right, I know I'm not getting a job where I'm gonna be stuck on the same position for years. I know I'm gonna grow with Fabio. He's my personal friend. He put all the trust he has in me. You know, you looked in my eyes and said, "I'm gonna make you grow with me." And that to me was like, "I'll trust you." You pretty much hold my hand and said, "Come with me. I'm gonna show you that you can have a career in soccer."
It's funny that there's two proofs of loyalty right that I think is it's very important there was one time that I told Frodo that he was gonna make if I'm not mistaken was $200 a week I think the
Three
first one
300.
$300 a week and I said I'm gonna pay you commission on however much money we make as a club. So if we have a profit, we I'll give you a percentage, and I think was like 10%, 5% or something of the profit that we're gonna make because I couldn't give him any more money because we didn't have it, and I said it was $300 a week, and you're gonna make this commission thing. And I remember that week we moved goals, we painted the fields, we put dirt on the fields to cover holes. We're moving things around. It was just we worked so much, and I closed that month that year, and I think we that month during that time, and I think we closed the bank with like $500 and out of the $500 I had to give Frodo $50 extra for the whole month. and I felt so bad and I say, man, what am I doing to this kid? And then many times as an entrepreneur we look back and we say, I don't know if I'm going to have strength or if we're going to have oxygen to go through this. And Frodo worked that whole month expecting that he was going to get this big commission for the whole month. And he made $1,200 that month and plus $50 commission after. So I kept telling him, as he says, like, don't worry, this is going to work. But he could easily, like many other people did throughout this process, just say, I don't trust it anymore. And he stuck through it. And I told him one time, and I said, Frodo, I'm going to change your life. You just have to be here, and we're going to do this together. And I'll never forget. He gave me a kiss in the forehead, walked away, came back on Monday, and said, I'm in. Well, let's do this. And this is where we are today. And I hope he doesn't regret. But those were when people see our relationship and people see what we built together, they think everything was Nona with 1,000 kids, right? It
Yeah.
was not. It was not Nona with 1,000 kids. So what do you think, Frodo, was for you throughout this whole process? Your biggest challenges, like the time that you say, "Man, I don't like this," or I don't think we're gonna make it. What was the biggest challenge that you had at Nona in the last 6 years?
I think the biggest challenge was through the pandemic.
Hmm.
It's at the beginning we thought we were gonna be closed for a week, then 2 weeks, then a month, and then we were closed for a good 2 3 months.
3 months almost.
Yeah, almost 3 months. And at that time, I thought we were gonna come back and we're gonna have 100 kids again, and then we're gonna have to start all over. And then I had no clue if the business was gonna be able to pay the sellers that we had at that time. So at that time, I thought maybe this is it. Maybe I'm gonna have to look for something else because I'm probably the most expensive asset. And if Nona needs to cut something, if we're gonna have to cut costs to survive, I'm probably one of the targets. And I understand. And then I knew if it would have happened, we would have a good conversation and
Hmm.
nothing. I wouldn't close the door. We were still gonna be friends. But at that time, I was looking not just at myself, but the the people that are in the office were the biggest risk when something like that happens because you can coach, you can still keep the coaches, and you can start over by yourself. But on your managers, it's maybe you would have to get rid of them.
What did we? How was
Not get rid of me, but
had to make a tough decision.
or what's the word I'm looking for? Lower my responsibilities, and then with that, go back to where we started.
Hmm.
And then at that point, I'll have to make a decision. Do I stay again and let's grow this again, or do I have to look for something else?
Yeah, it was a tough time, and but we've made it, and I think the club and the community. I think what we've done with the community during those 3 months, Frodo, it's what makes us as strong as we are today. People don't forget what we've done, and and we were making fun at each other because we went through the pandemic, sharing the same mask.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You and
And like, and I think the reason I don't like Zoom calls today is because of the pandemic. I couldn't take any more Zoom classes. We did coaching what, twice a day,
Mhm.
every day in front of the Zoom. I was like, I can't do it anymore. I don't have the creativity anymore. I'm like repeating myself, and we're sharing the same mask in front of the Zoom too. Hey guys, don't forget your mask. It's your turn.
So we had the PE classes, and we did a lot of the stuff that we did on Zoom that people didn't know what we were doing behind the scenes. It was me, you, and the boys, Chris. We are holding the computer for you. We didn't have this structure here with five or
Mm.
six cameras or phones. We're just holding the computer with the Zoom as Frodo is doing the exercise. When Frodo finished the exercise, I was doing exercises, and then I delegated for Mo and Luan, and they were doing the exercises, and we creating videos, we creating drills, and it was in fact tough times. I think we grew closer together. We bonded. We were family. I remember when we were playing air soccer at the office. That the guys come in. It's like I can't stay at home anymore, and they bring the COVID test, and we were playing air soccer, waiting for the next event, and we lost weight.
That was my best. That was my best shape ever.
We worked out a
Yeah,
lot.
everybody gained weight during the pandemic, and I lost like 20 pounds.
Yeah, we were in the best shape because we were doing like this fitness classes online, but it grew us stronger with the community, and it made us more relevant. I think it was a big message, and you were a huge face of it during those times. So I don't think people will ever forget what we went through. And then Frodo, in terms of the highlights. You've had so many highlights, but if you look at the last 6 years, if you can give us like the top three most fun times that we had during your time here at Nona, and what is the that you think it's more relevant to you that you never forget. Whether you work tomorrow if you go to work at Real Madrid tomorrow, or if you change business completely, those are the three things that you're gonna carry with you. What do you think those are?
The three things. I think one, it is the Zoom classes at the pandemic. I'll never forget that. That's on my top three in Nona. Second one, I think, is the first Nona Cup. Not just the first one, the Nona Cups in general. Through the rain, having fun with the DJ, giving out the trophies, the medals. It's not really about if you're winning the event. It's about how much fun we have making the event. You know, even though Nona Cup is tiring and then the preparation is 3 days in the road of like hard work, but in the end, when it's always done, you feel good about yourself. It's we make it a fun experience for everybody that's there, and then you can see on the kids' face, and even on the parents' face, how happy they are just to go in front of us. You know, they and then they go to another tournament and they mention, "Oh my God, you guys make Nona Cup something special." It's not because of the games, because they play pretty much the same teams, but in the end, we make Nona Cup special.
Hmm.
And then my top one has to be the raining game.
The rain game.
Yeah, we went to regionals. We lost the first game. We had to win to go through the group stage. It was raining. Like honestly, we shouldn't even play that game. You know, we're scared that it was gonna get canceled. If it was canceled, we were out. Started playing the game. 1-0 us. 1-1. Last play of the game, a free kick. The ball stops in a puddle. The keeper doesn't get it, and then somehow the ball starts moving again, goes in. The kids go crazy. We all were super happy, and then we went through the to the playoffs because of that game. We ended up winning everything in the PKs, but I think the reigning game was more important, and we were happier that game than after winning the finals. It was just unbelievable moment that the medals you get there, you hang on your wall, you pass by and once in a you pass in front of it, you look at it like, oh, that's a cool tournament. But that moment that the kids coming and jumping on us and then diving into the water, it's still your screen protector on your phone, on
Yeah,
not your phone, your
on my
computer.
computer.
We still have the picture hanging on the office. They'll never get out of my mind for sure.
Yeah, those three events, and there's no way that we can not talk to Coach Frodo and not talk about those three things, right? So, the Nona Cup, the rain game, the regionals in general, and and the pandemic. Those are the three most difficult and most exciting things that we've done. I liked during the pandemic. I think one of my moments was the caravan that we had. Like we were in the office one day, and this is like I normally Frodo hates me and loves me for this sometimes because I just come at him and I throw him an idea, and he's like, I was like, let's do it, and then we do it. I remember I came in the office one day and I say we should, because the kids are started telling us and started saying we need to see each other. Coach, when am I going to see you when we're doing the Zoom calls? And I said, we should have a caravan for Nona. We meet everybody. We meet at Heroes Park, and we put all the trucks. We make sure that the cars decorate their car. The parents decorate their cars, and they can't get out of the car. And we just go around Lake Nona because it was all empty. All the streets were empty. And we just go around Lake Nona. If people want to come out, I think the teachers were doing that, right? The Orange County
Yeah,
public school teachers were doing that. And we just go out and we say hi to the kids, and we do that. And then I remember Frodo, Terry, and myself were in the office, and I was like, how many cars do you think? And then I say, I'll probably be 30 cars. And then they made fun of me. They're like, no, it's going to be like 5 cars. And it's going to, I think Terry's like, oh, it might be just us and some kids and stuff. That day we showed up at Heroes Park, and the parking lot is just packed. All of these kids with the cars decorated, and they eager to come out. At that point, they were home for 2 months already.
yeah. We
Uh,
have about 100 cars that day.
we had about 100 cars that day, and then we had to go through the things. So I remember there's a picture of us that we are on Lake Nona Boulevard coming out of Heroes Park, and we were at the traffic light, and the cars were just going snaking through the whole street with flags and all of our sponsors with their trucks and stuff. I think that day was a day that I said, man, we have a bigger responsibility towards this community than just than just a soccer team, and that was amazing how we did that. And what I like about my team is that you guys just go with it, and
We don't always agree with it, but we do it.
and
We make it happen.
and that's on your career, Frodo, professional level. Uh, I'm not. I think we have a pretty good base when it comes to the company and where we want to go, but how important it is to be as dynamic, because it's never a dull moment at Nona and it's never repetitive. How is it for you to have to be leading an organization now with such a diverse group of people and being so uh, and not having the same day ever? It's it's not repetitive to work here.
It helps me on every aspect of life. I think it's dynamic, it's challenge, because sometimes you go to the same place to the field, but it's not every day the same. So by now, I think I have faced most of the challenge that a soccer business can bring it to us.
Don't say that.
Yeah, but,
Every day is new.
but I'm still learning. We had a talk with a dean from Brazil, and I spoke to him for an hour, and it looked like I was fresh in the market. Here, I thought I knew a lot, and I have learned a lot, but I spoke to somebody that's in the business for 12 years, and he he gave me a class. So that's the part that I like. Even though I'm in the business for going to 7 years, 6, 7 years. Every day I'm learning something new, how to deal with problems, how to deal with challenges, or how to make things better. What I like is even though we're going a good path, we need to be dynamic too, because for the kids and for the parents, they are developing. The world is developing, technology is developing, so we cannot do what we did when we started today, because it might not work. So I'm in the same industry, but every year I'm working on a different industry. Does that make sense?
Mhm. The
It's
industry is evolving so
evolving
fast.
with so much things that goes on the world that what we did 6 years ago, we can't do it now.
With that said, Frodo, how was it that transition for you in terms of responsibilities? Tell us what you did when you started, and how your responsibilities have grown to this day.
All right. So when I started, I had two teams, I think, or no, actually, before I took the 08, I did like four teams in rec. We still didn't have games, and we were trying to play games at YMCA. We actually were only able to do it for one weekend. Uh, I even had a girls team at that time where I coached Lana, which Kevin's probably gonna listen to the podcast, and she was with us for like 7 years. And it was just on the field. Go, you coach four teams. That's what we have it for you now, because we're trying to grow. And then little by little, and Fabio always promised me, you always promised me, I'm gonna take you out of the field one day, right? That's not what you want. I said it's fun, but I don't see myself as a coach. I don't see myself as a professional soccer coach. She's like, all right, trust me, I'll take you out of the field one day, but I need you on the field today. I said, okay, no problem.
All of
So,
us were on the
yeah,
field at that
so
point.
so at that point I have four rec teams, and then you always want me to take Moa's team. So hey, take Moa's team, and then that's a big team for the club. So you're only gonna have that team, and you manage everything else on the field. I said okay. So I had one team, which was the OA Black, and then I was helping with everything else. I didn't have the responsibility of organizing anything yet. No, no deals with the leagues. I didn't have to deal with the coaches or the parents. I was just your right hand. I was there, pick up a cone, I'll pick up a cone. Pump a ball, I'll pump a ball. Uh, Paint the field, line up the field. It was a little like a handman job plus one team, right? Then 1 year goes by, second year, we grew. Then there was the first tryout. That's when I think I really jumping on the business side. I remember at your house one day, Saturday, you said, "Hey Frodo, I need you here. I'm gonna buy you pizza. We need to input 100 names into the computer." We got there, it was more like 100,000 names on the computer.
It was 10 of us around
Yeah,
around the table. We called everybody, all the rec coaches.
we literally one by one. It was like old school, like name, email, everything on a piece of paper that we had to put on the computer system. We're there for the whole day, and in my head, I'm like, maybe I want to just be on the field. Maybe I'm gonna tell him.
That's another day that
Yeah,
it
I
should be
like.
on the top of
Maybe
our.
I like just to coach, you know. And then I think little by little, it wasn't even you giving to me the responsibility. It was more me earning, and you see that you could start doing something else to grow Nona. Because we were always together, but then I felt like we were together, but little by little, you let me talk first, and then you just start stepping away one step at a time until the first Nona Cup when we're on the baseball field. That's a funny story too. We're on the baseball field trying to do a 9v9, two 9v9s on the baseball field, and Fabio in his mind said, "We can do it." I said, "Fabio, we've been here for 3 hours. We cannot do it." He drove all the way to the baseball field. He said, "Give me the measure tape." I said, "Go ahead. We can do it." He walks this way, walks that way. Frodo, go over there. Alejandro, this way. Johan, that way. Danny, yeah, we can do it. I said, "I know we've been here for 3 hours. You just waste your own time." He's like, "Yeah, I think it's time for me to just go home." And then I think from that day on, I earned his trust where, okay, they know what they're doing, and he has his group full time that he's he became a leader for them, and they listen to him, so I don't have to worry about it, you know. And I remember after 2 years with the O8s, it was actually finally my time to step away from the field, and we had a little problem with the O9 group, you know. Um, the attitudes were they were really talented. They still are. Most of the kids they're still with us today, but their attitude were a problem for us. And then you asked me, Frodo, I know I promised you I was gonna take you out of the field, but I need you 1 more year. And I was like, I'll do another year of coaching, and I took the online boys for another 2 years. But I gained more responsibility outside. I was managing the rack by myself with Alejandro helping me and Profe. But you were well, that year we actually took you out of recreational completely. You're not. You just will go there, walk around, shake hands, kiss babies.
So they fired me from rec
Yeah.
that year.
So that year we were able to fire you from rec. Competitive, you were still engaged. You still are engaged until today, but we still had a lot of people that were here when you create Nona, so you're still the face of the competitive, and I think it's gonna take still time to take you out of there. But that year, we took you out of the rec. I think half of the recreational, if you go there today, they don't know that you are Fabio. You know,
Hmm.
so that was a big accomplishment for us. And then after the 2 years with the boys, the O9 boys, we actually were able to take me out of the field, and then that's when I think my on my personal development as a career, I'd explode because then I was touching every single part of the business for Nona. I actually had time to do it because coaching, it doesn't look like it's a lot of time consuming coaching, but it is. You know, you miss a lot of opportunities because you have a game. You miss some meetings, you miss some events because you have a game or you have a tournament that you cannot be on this side of the business because you're on the field. So me stepping out of the field, it it made me more a face of Nona than coaching. And then we had a situation I had to go back on the field with the girls, which I loved. It was a really good experience to coach the girls. I still in touch with them until today. Uh, but again, I came to you and said, hey, yes, I need to step out. I don't see myself coaching, and this year again, I'm just this general manager, or we can call the the right no the general manager. We can call the general manager.
Director of operations,
Director.
general
Yeah,
manager.
I don't like that term, the DOC. I think DOC is a term that some clubs created. I don't tell coaches what to do on the soccer side. I I like to call myself more as a general manager because I'm there to not just help the coaches and to listen to the parents, to listen to the kids, and to make Nona better as a whole, not just on the soccer aspect. You know.
It's a you're telling your story. One of the biggest things that it's funny that every time we had some type of attrition or some type of problem,
Hiccup.
any hiccups, yes, I always told you guys, I cannot keep doing your job. As a development, you guys need to step up. You guys need to start going through and stepping up. And as a leader, it's like a father. It's very hard to sometimes you see your kid putting their hand into the fire and you have to allow them to burn themselves to learn. And and to me, sometimes I like take it away because I was also a young leader. I've never been through an organization this big where I had to do everything. Like the CEO, a lot of people's like, oh, I started my own company. Next thing you know, you're the CEO of a company, you're the president of the company. It's not the same when the things start growing. So one of the hardest lessons for me was let me allow them to burn themselves a little bit so they can learn, right? And then I thought to me, and I think I told you this before, uh, one of the most proud moments that I had when we had issues with the coaches that we have to move people around, and I say, Coach Frodo, I have 2 months in, I can take this team for you, and then you told me you are my last option to take a team, and I at that point I'm saying he's growing, he's gonna figure it out, but you told me you're not taking a team anymore because when you take a team, you damage the successor, right? It's really hard for if I step in as a team, I either lose everybody or I make it very hard for the next person to take over because in their parents' mind they have the Fabio coaching the team. And I remember like it was yesterday in that meeting that we had, it was like, Fabio, please understand, you are my last option to take a team. And at that point, I say, now we have a club that is going to grow. Now it's because my guys are understanding what they need me. I'm going to be there, but I don't have to be there on everything. And then for me was also very important that I had to say, okay, now I can focus on growing Nona. Now I can focus on the politics of the game, and now I can focus on the other stuff that takes more, like the contracts, the partnerships, the community relations, all of that stuff. And now the operations, I don't touch anymore. And then sometimes I go to the office now, and that's kudos to you, Frodo. I know I pick on you. I demand a lot from you guys because you guys are the best, and the best cannot sleep. The best can be on top of the game all the time. But uh, sometimes I go in the office like, do you guys need me for anything? And next thing you know, you guys will probably close the door. It's like, no, get out. So I'm retired from my own club, and I'm proud of you guys for growing. And I told Edgar, and people will see. one of the best conversations that we've had here since I started this podcast was Ali and Danny. The content was really good, but just how proud we are. I remember I came to the office and I'm like, Frodo, our kids are growing up. And this is kudos to you and your leadership and your style. I think we're a good balance in terms of how we're gonna lead this club, and then we're excited to see where it goes from here. But what's next, Frodo? What's your how do you see the market first? Not with Nona, but with everything that's going on. Talking about more of a forecasted version. How do you see the market of soccer? How do you see this thing moving forward here in the U.S. in the next couple of years?
Um, I see it. It is growing. You can't lie. It's growing, and it's getting more organized. It's becoming more professional. And we even talked about that yesterday as some of the age groups that been playing soccer in the U.S. for 5 6 years. They're not on that level that the little kids are coming up. You know. So on the top of the pyramid, on the age group, some you still have some teams that they don't like to be so professional. They don't like to be so organized. They want like I play here, next year play there, and the little ones, the parents also understanding that the market is growing and you need to be more organized. That you need to be more professional. Even though it's paid to play, people are starting to take serious as a professional club, you know. And I think with the Club World Cup coming in, the World Cup coming into the U.S., depends how they do it. I think this market is gonna boom, and you can call me on that. In probably 2026 is the World Cup here. 2030, 2034, USA is gonna make the Final Four. I think
I think so too. The way it's
it,
going,
it's it, they're good on every single sport. They have the resource, and now people are taking soccer serious here. There's more kids playing soccer. There's more clubs. There's I don't like the fact there's a lot of leagues. I think we could condense on on one league, not just one league, but less league. We have here in Orlando, we have 6 or 7 good clubs, and we don't play against each other.
hmm
And I think that would be an option to make soccer better. We should be on a league where we play the clubs here. We don't. I see when you go around and watch the games, do we really need to go to Miami every weekend? I don't think we have to, but the leagues is still a lot of politics into it that some clubs can get in, some clubs cannot. It's not about earning. It's not about uh, the earning a spot there because your club is good or because you have a good team. It's about who you know still. But I think when they fix that, then the market's gonna get even better. Especially Central Florida. We have Florida is probably the state that the more the people move into it, right? It's like one of the top states in the U.S. that people move into from South America or even up north because of the weather. So I think as soon as they fix the politics in soccer, where if you earn it, you can be on the top leagues, and then you're gonna play with the top clubs all the time, then the kids are gonna develop even more, because there's a ceiling that we can get.
hmm
Nona today we hit a ceiling where this is what we can provide. This is the highest league that we can provide, but we're capable to play in a higher league. Not just us. There's clubs around here that are capable to be on the MLS Next, for example, and we are not for some reasons that we don't really understand. But I see the marketing growing, and more kids are playing soccer. So
And how do you see, Frodo, the message for because you are the pioneer, right? You are the first one that became the general manager or the director of operations or uh, without growing into the club market, right? So if when we go to conferences, when we go to these things, we see a lot of older people doing your role, and you were the first one that has a business degree, that has a marketing degree, that played soccer in college, understands the game, but it's not you're not the typical college, the club coach that will keep growing and growing until he makes it. So you're the first one that comes into the administrative part of it, even though you did everything, but it was very quick compared to other clubs. How do you see these younger guys coming up through the ranks like you have when it comes to the club executive uh, market? I mean,
I think we're the ones that are gonna change the market. You know, we played the college career. We some of them made to pro and couldn't keep playing for any reasons. But most of us, we went to the college career. We play soccer. We're not working with soccer. We're not on the board like they like to say, just because we've been there for 30 years. You know, we like to say, throw a soccer ball in the air, can they control? Half of these people, they don't even know how to kick a soccer ball. So I think that's what hurts the system a little. But the young guys are coming in and they're coming strong with knowledge and and willing to make it better. You know, and you can see the difference on the conference. When you go to a conference, FISA for example, there's a lot still older persons. But when you go to the coach convention, or when we went to the MLS Next Fast, you see the young people are taking over. The people that have the knowledge for soccer, that play soccer, that move to the U.S. because they see the opportunity. There's a lot of people coming from abroad because they see the opportunity of the sport growing in this country. You know, they're tired of in South America or in Europe just not growing because over there it's a lot more structure, and then for you to get a higher position in those countries, you really have to go through the years. You really need to be working for 20 years on the same club to get a higher position there, because there is somebody there with knowledge, with license, that has a history. Here they see opportunity that they can come and they can take a spot right away because of how hungry they are, because of the knowledge that they have, and because they actually play. Because 5 years ago, soccer was on the hands of people that did not play soccer, and now I think it's changing.
and that's great. And you see, I agree 100% with you. Your generation is going to change the game. Um, However, your generation is very, very, very. They want everything for yesterday. So because you are, and I like to say that you're the balance between the younger guys coming up and myself. That I don't. I see myself as the. If you look at the market, I'm one of the young executives,
Hmm.
right? So it's working from a young executive down. It's not like I'm trying to fit into the older guys. But and there's a lot of older guys too that has a lot to show in the game. We're not saying that they're completely obsolete. There's some great people still working there. But you are between my generation and the young generation. So what messages can you tell people? Because you are Frodo. I don't know if you realize that, but you are one of the people that there's hundreds of coaches out there looking up to you internationally through our social media. When we get contacts, I'm sure you get emails all the time and messages on your social media account. We do all the time. There's a lot of people out there. I get at least 20 every day of people that want to come here, work with us, and be you. And what messages can you give to these young guys coming behind you? Because I think a part of this podcast is teaching these guys not to focus so much on playing, because the spectrum of soccer is so big. What advice can you give to these young leaders coming out of college or uh, that wants to work in soccer, what can you tell them?
Um, I think the key word is patient. The young guys, they come out of college, or they want to come work at Nona, and they want to sit on your chair in 3 months. You're gonna have to go through the hard part of the job, the dirty part of the job. We kind of like to say, you're gonna have to do stuff that you don't want to do it, that you don't like it. We even joke in the office with Danny that you only do what you like, and the things that you don't like, you try to pass along to somebody else. So if you want to grow in the sport, you have to understand that you need to understand every part of the business. You cannot sit on my chair and not know what is going through, what you have to do to have the rec games on Saturday, for example, or what you have to do to have the leagues to play, to go to a tournament, to set up a practice. You can't just sit on my chair expecting that everything is gonna you're gonna show up to Austin Tindo on a Tuesday and everything is gonna go well. You need to understand every aspect. You need to understand the parent side, the coaching side, and the parts that nobody likes to do. You think we like to go and paint the field, for example, or to build goals, or to ref, you know. Uh, but you need to be patient. It's not gonna happen from the day to night. You need to earn it. You need to show your value too, and you need to be proactive. It's all hands on deck, but you need to be proactive. You can't just be waiting for us to tell you what to do, because in today's world, I think the if you're proactive, you grow really fast. Like if you're proactive, is faster growing, because we see value on people that are actually proactive. If we don't need to be repeating ourselves, that means I can be doing something else because I know this guy is going to handle this part. Okay, I'll give you a good example. Bernard, he 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 asked us if he could be a rec coach because he wanted to be on the soccer market. He likes to play soccer. I just want to work with soccer. I don't care what I do. I just give me a rec team. He started with one recreational team. Two, do you want to do this? Yes. Do you want to do that? Yes. Do you want to learn more? Yes. Come to the office. Hang out with us at the office. And just by coming to the office, he started picking up and being proactive and bringing ideas. On this, I've also on this market. Don't be scared just because you're the young one to bring new ideas. You know, bring new ideas. See if works. It's not because we do A and B and C every day that we cannot try to do D. So patient, be proactive, and bring new ideas.
That's great. And talking about Bernard, you mentioned Bernard, and we have some of the young coaches coming up. I remember that about a year, maybe 2 years ago, I delegated to you, and because I wanted you to learn that part on hiring the coaches or hiring the people that that you want to be working for you, because at the end they are working for you. And boss Frodo, right? You mentioned something to me once that I was like, I like it. Uh, before you pull the trigger and hire somebody, you said, Fabio, I like this person because this and this and this and this, and that's our profile. It fits our profile. It fits the type of people that fits the club. What is that profile, Frodo? Uh, I want you to explain to all of these guys that wants to come work at Nona. What's the Nona profile, the Coach Frodo's profile?
I think it's not just the coach Frodo profile. I think it's the Nona profile. It's where you end up fitting in the best with the managers, and Nona profile. It's somebody that is quick learner, proactive. We do like the people that are fresh out of college because they're a listener. They are willing to learn. They they know they're here to learn, so they're easy to talk to. Sometimes we get some coaches that they have a good resume or they've been working as a coach for 10 years. So when they come to Nona, they don't want to listen to what we do. They just want to do their own thing because that's what they've been doing for 10 years. And I think the Nona profile, it's fitting in on what we do. If it's right or wrong, I don't know, but it's working so far. And and we like to call the family. I know some business don't like to, when you get too close as a family, it doesn't work. But then on a profile, it's becoming part of the family. It's not just going to the field, you coach and you leave. We do like that part that we hang out after, or we get there early and we talk about something that's not soccer. We become friends off the field. And I think that's a key value for Nona. Most of us, we're also friends off the field, and that translates really well into the business because if Danny drops something, I'll go pick it up. I don't care. If Alejandro messes up, I go help him to try to fix it. And then we hold each other's hands. Doesn't matter if it's not our line, we are willing to help. And I think that's the most important thing on Nona is we'd like to say all hands on deck, everybody's line. Even though we try to stay on our line, we're always willing to help the others.
That's something that I always wanted to see in a team, right? The willingness to help, and I think that comes from my hospitality, the hotel background, and I don't think anybody understood as well as you did when I said soccer is only 10%. We're in the parking business. We're in the events. We throw an event every day. And I remember when I first talked to you, it seems like I turned on the light in your head, and it's like, of course, we're not, because once the kids made it to practice and the coach blows the whistle, the event has started. But everything that takes on uniforms, equipment, ball, trailers, lights, um, fields, parking, rain, shine, weather, coaches, everything that takes on, by the time the practice goes on in the business part of the thing, that's the coach's show. That's done. We hired the coach that is capable of doing that, but we have to understand that everything that takes on to throw that event, right? So believe it or not, I tell when the new people come in, it's like we host an event of 1,000 people every day, Monday through Monday. It doesn't stop. We have Fridays off most of the times, but if you think about it, it's 1,000 people every day. And if we understand that there's 1,000 people that we have to cater to, and soccer is just the popcorn of the movie, right? And it's something that is automatic, we don't have to worry about it. And you understood that part very well. When we say half, soccer is only half our story on the holistic part, but on the operation part, soccer is only 10% of the story, right? And then I think when somebody understands that profile, when understands that becomes our profile.
Yeah, and if you don't want to be a coach, you want to work with soccer, but you don't want to be a coach. That's, I think, and Nona, that's the most important thing to understand.
Hmm.
It's soccer is only 10%, and you need to care about the other 90%.
Yeah, and we try to implement that in the coaches side too. That there's a lot to that happens behind the scene. That even though they might be thinking that I like to say yesterday I told one of our guests here that I thought soccer players were hard to deal with. Soccer coaches are hard to deal with. Players are much easier than the coaches. So that is part of the experience that we've had. And what's next, Frodo? What is your dream? How's it going for you personally? How's life treating you? Uh,
Yeah.
let's hear a little bit more
About
about
my life,
Coach Frodo's personal.
my personal life, I'm actually engaged.
There you go. He
Yeah,
finally popped
with
the question.
with the love of my life, Larissa Lima.
All right, all
I know
right.
you're gonna listen to that, so I love you.
Oh, he got
Yeah,
points now.
yeah, I got points on it. Yep,
Wait, that's gonna become a cut, like
yeah,
a short.
yep. So we've been together for oh, I can't mess it up now, right? 7 years. Yeah, 7 years. You know, two kids, B and Ricardinho, two dogs, two cats. Yeah,
So
my
you have
life.
like a real life now.
Yeah, I have a real life. Since I came to Nona, my life actually fell on track. You know, I met Lottie, and my professional life is going well. My personal life is going really well. I don't have anything to complain. It's just getting better and better.
And what's next for you, Frodo? What's your aspirations, your goals? I know that here at Nona we have a career plan for you with a lot of exposure for the next steps, and with Fabio, really, uh, you fired me from my own company. So what is?
My, I don't even know if we can say that, but my goal, I still have more things to do at Nona. I think my goal at Nona is to see us getting to MLS next. You know, I think we worked really hard, and I think I'll be disappointed, not disappointed, but I'll be frustrated if we get in and I'm not here. You know, I think that's something that you and me and some of the other coaches have been working really hard, and I think we deserve it. And this is one of the goals. The other goal is for us to have our own facility. That's that's. I don't think that's just your dream. I think it's our dream, and to see how we do it with the facility, because then there'll be a new part of the business for me to develop. You know, because if we love Jeff and El Centendo, we love heroes, but we don't control. So I think if we do have the facility, there'll be a new part of business that I'll learn, and I'm actually curious to do that. And and maybe we go up from USL 2 to USL 1 or championship, and we become actually a pro club. And
Don't get us in trouble. There's.
and they'll
All
be
right, cut, cut.
and they'll and maybe in a few years work on a professional club to see how it is.
Mhm.
You know, I think we had to think on long terms, and maybe on a MLS club. I don't maybe MLS or anywhere else, but a pro club to see how is it done. You know, than the youth market.
Cool. And this is the project, and I think we're structuring the club to get into those two goals. And I'm with you. I think it's not the money anymore. It's the goals that we set for ourselves that kind of sets us apart. And
And
I like to shoot for the stars.
Yes,
And
and I think that's what motivates us,
mhm,
you know, because on the youth side, I think we do a good job. We grew a lot with only 7 years. We were a baby club if you think about all the other clubs that have been around for 20, 30 years. And we became a role model for a lot of clubs. A lot of clubs, they do what they do now because we started doing. And those goals it's what motivate us to keep going.
yeah, I agree with you. And talking about the major projects now, this weekend we have Nona Cup, and it's you said it's one of the best things that you do here at Nona, and this year is the biggest ever. We have over 300 teams already confirmed. What are your expectations for Nona Cup this weekend?
We'll be busy. Expectation is please no rain.
Exactly.
Yeah, if the
It's
weather
become a
yeah
tradition in
if
Nona
the
Cup
weather
too.
can be around 70 degrees is also good because usually it's rainy and cold. But I'm not worried about Nona Cup. I think we mastered that, and Danny does an awesome job on the schedule. We never had any issues with games, and he puts 100% of his effort there in Nona Cup. We lately me and Alejandro, we just walk around Nona Cup, seeing if everything is good, and if he needs our help, he picks up the radio, he calls us, and we're there. But it's to put up a good show. I feel like this year is gonna be even better. You know.
Yeah, we're excited for Nona Cup. There's a lot of things happening. We are inviting two coaches from our project that we're doing in the projects in Brazil, the social project, and we got them here this week, and they are going through this process with us, learning and stuff to take as much as possible. So the donations are always welcome and everything because we are helping them down there. And as we know, soccer is only half our story, and we have to continue to do the things the right way. So Frodo, I think we need to do more of this. This was a relaxed conversation. It's always nice to get some of the people that's been there since the beginning with us, and we have a relaxed talk on how important these milestones were for us in the last 7 years. Nona is now just turned 8, and we are going stronger than ever. And I want you to know that you're very important to us. You are part of this, and you are the every time that I saw a post the other day, it's like, remember why you started and who's watching, right? And you are one of the people that's watching me, and that's why I do what I do. And we're here today because of you. So thank you very much. Thanks for spending the time. I know you hate podcasts, but I think you're going to watch this one. You're going to send it to Lottie and your family and stuff.
Yeah. Make sure I look good. All right.
All right.
But thanks for having me. It was fun. It was a good conversation. We can do this more times, and we can do a fun one too, a funny one, and we can tell all the funny stories about Nona that we've been through.
Yeah, we have to do that. We
Like,
need to come up
yeah,
with a list and have all of us.
yeah.
We got Lehi and
And
everybody
then we
here.
only tell funny stories, like filling up the lights with a diesel and knocking the gallon over myself, and had to go practice smelling like diesel for
I guess
3 hours.
all right, stay tuned for part two of the Frodo's podcast with
Yeah,
all the funny
we do
stories.
the funny stories another day.
All right, my man. Thank you
Alrighty.
very much.
Thank you, and thanks for making me feel important on this.
No, you are important to us, and I think one day you guys will be running this club, and all you're gonna remember is this bald guy that had a vision. And my biggest accomplishment is the people that I found to go along this ride with me, and you're definitely part of it. So, Edgar, thank you so much for once again being here with us. I want to thank Nona Media once again and all of our sponsors. Stay tuned, Nona Cup this weekend. If you're watching this during the Nona Cup week, please, 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 please stay aware that we are busy this weekend. There's over 30,000 people coming to Lake Nona this weekend. We're going to have the restaurants packed. On Saturday, we're going to have this cool event over at the Lake Nona Town Center in partnership with Tavistock Restaurants. Get ready. It's Nona Cup number 5. Nona Cup number 5. It's the biggest one ever. So stay tuned. More information will come. Thank you very much.